the developers of Tempest Rising have dropped a multiplayer 1v1 video showcasing their gameplay. Tempest Rising is one of those upcoming classic style RTSs that plays very much in the style of Command and Conquer. The developers involved in the match are Fred Schreiber, the game director, as well as my good friend Brandon Castile, the lead designer on this game. Brandon Castillo, you might know him as Vavor Strategy here on YouTube. He definitely has a great channel. I'll link it in the description. You guys go check it out. Now, without further ado, let's actually jump into this video and give our first reactions.
Hello, my name is Fred Schreiber. I'm the game director on Tempest Rising. Today we have something very special to show you guys. We're gonna do a one-on-one multiplayer match between me, myself, and Brandon, our lead game designer. I'm going to play as the Global Defense Forces, and he's going to play as the Tempest Dynasty. The main focus of this match specifically is for me to show you guys a little bit more about base building and resource collecting. How does this mechanic work with the Global Defense Forces, which is slightly different than the other two factions in the game. I asked Brandon to go easy on me, so I have a little bit of time to show you guys a bit more about what base building looks and feels like.
Bear in mind, they showed like unit-only gameplay at Gamescom.
See what the different units in the game look like, how they feel to play with, and so
Definitely
on.
very detailed.
And then we're gonna just battle it out and see who wins. I'm gonna cut a few places in the video so you don't have to sit here for a full hour and a half and see this match play out. But hopefully it'll be a good in-depth walkthrough of what a match in Tempest Rising feels like and looks like.
So we've got like grid building placement.
I hope you guys enjoy it. So I'll stop talking now, and then yeah, let's get started here with a 1v1 against me.
But it doesn't look like the buildings wall off if you put them next to each other directly.
Hello and welcome. I'm Brandon Castile, the lead game designer on Tempest Rising. I'm so excited to be able to bring you our first ever taste of 1v1 gameplay in our game. This match was recorded by Fred and myself for demonstration purposes, and we wanted to be able to show you a lot of different aspects of the gameplay. I truly hope you enjoy this sneak peek into Tempest Rising. Let's get started.
I really like the style of this video.
Fred and I really wanted the gameplay to speak for itself, but I will be interjecting from time to time with light commentary or some other potential tidbits about the game
Actually, it reminds me of
what's going on
when Blizzard was showing off StarCraft 2.
As you can see, we provide players with the option to start out with a small force in the beginning of a multiplayer match, to allow for scouting and other kinetic interactivity while you get started. We don't want things to devolve into a lot of early rush strategies, so what you see here might change a bit before you get your hands on it. But I'm currently happy with this direction, eager to hear feedback on it. Also, I'm not sure if you noticed this, but this map has a couple of resource crates sprinkled here and there in various nooks and crannies, another thing we're experimenting with.
Oh, so whoever touches it first just gets it immediately. Okay. I'm not sure if I like that. Like, if
as you can see here,
let's pause this. If you just end up going over a crate and you touch it first, but your opponent misses it by like 1 second, I think I would much prefer the Halo Wars dynamic there, where you actually take some time picking up the resource crates. And it's a process that can be interrupted. This is very binary. I'm not a huge fan, honestly.
Tempest, it leaves vines behind. These vines will eventually bear additional fruit, but only if they are not too far away from the living pod. If vines aren't close to a pod, they will die off, which makes the plant take longer to come back. Also, as you leave Tempest alone, it will mature over time, the pods growing and becoming worth more when harvested. This Tempest ecology is very important to us, both in terms of flavor and balancing.
I'm not sure I understand the implications of that. Like, you're kind of forced to harvest that Tempest with this faction, it would seem. In fact, 2 harvesters were made specifically for it already. Granted, there's a lot of starting resources, and maybe it's not super important to immediately boom your economy, but if you're not given an income early on just so that you can have more later, I'm not sure I see a big choice there. There would have to be a lot of stalling mechanics to make that work. I'm not convinced about this one. Construction complete. But everything looks very smooth, which is convincing to me. Base building looks very satisfying. Pretty animations. The buildings are easy to tell apart.
Unit ready.
And it looks like there's a good amount of hotkeys for the build menus. It's a non-traditional build menu, like back to CNC is really what it's like.
Unit ready.
And the units, they are very chatty.
And
okay.
here we see
A lot of commands have been given here one by one, right? In quick succession. And what you get as a result is a lot of yes, sirs, yes, sir, yes, 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 sir. I think that needs a bit of a cooldown so that the individual voice lines get to have their own space a little bit, and so that it doesn't become overwhelming when somebody plays very quickly.
Fred making the approach into the Dynasty base. Sadly for him, I was ready with a Pillager Flame tank, which, well...
Wrecked.
Battle control offline.
Brandon's OP, sorry.
No problem. Up we go. Ready and waiting. Surveying.
Okay, you can send in the drone.
Yes, command. Unit ready.
He's trying to scout up that hill, but I deny him that. And of course, those drones do rebuild themselves after a brief time.
Yeah, it's a pretty good scout mechanic. Nothing against it. And there's an energy system, so I guess the more you build, the more reactors you need. So it looks like. And then there must be several stages, as you can see in the bar in the top right, where your buildings become maybe less efficient. Is that for resource storage, the silo? I couldn't read the tooltip fast enough.
Construction complete.
Actually, one thing I'd really like to see is having a single unit selected at some point.
Unit ready.
Okay, we've got walls and gates and turrets that you can attach to the walls. Music's pretty good.
Constructing.
It's genty. Okay, the Tempest is running pretty low in this area. Okay, so the tank has stats on health.
This is the Hunter tank. It is a high-tech, long-range,
What about-
versatile part of the GDF's offensive force.
Well, that's
Fred pushing out,
firepower.
going past our Tempest rigs.
Doesn't
doing
look like
some
it's displayed.
harvesting. Little defensive force there as well.
Okay, here goes the worker harassment. Somebody call HR. And I assume the engineer takes over the building, which then you can supposedly sell if it's anything like CNC. Dismantle refinery, oh man. So you get a refinery vehicle out of that, apparently. That's what the tooltip said. And then, can you drive it away? Did you actually click that? The vehicle's definitely holding their own. One thing I'm starting to notice is that the color palette is a little bit saturated. So I'm having trouble seeing these black and blue units on the black and red terrain. In fact, if you look at the rocks, the cliffs, they are really showing signs of saturation, and I'm not sure this makes for a very readable experience. The tanks are almost camouflaged, and those red and black troops, infantry, they especially seem very difficult to distinguish from the ground and the blood. Yeah. That is a little bit tough to see. I kind of wish for more clarity, visually speaking. But stuff like
Alright. Phew. I was able to push Fred back, but not without some losses.
hit point bars
Now,
look good
Fred
though.
is building a satellite uplink, one of the GDF's tech structures. And this is the Sentinel, a fast anti-infantry and anti-air scouting unit with the ability to equip a secondary weapon that marks enemy units. You can see that driving through that Tempest has built up an electrical charge on the Sentinels. I wonder what's up
Oh.
with that.
Our base is under attack.
That's a really cool little mechanic. So there's some environmental gameplay to things. It doesn't look like they can run over anything. But once again, a good display of the segmented health bars makes it really clear what health units are at, even if the health bars might be a little small. The time to kill looks very nice, in terms of you'll have to micro to keep your units alive, and there's not a lot of time to do it. Of course, in these small engagements, there is some, but as the engagements get larger with bigger troop counts, I assume the game is pretty killy overall.
Constructing.
Now, what happened with that uplink? We never got to see what it does.
Lost.
Because it's not like CNC, you do have a mini-map from the very beginning. You don't have to build a text structure for it, like in some of those games.
Battle control offline. Training.
Oh, it's gone, it's gone. Okay. So if you don't have enough power, you lose your mini-map. Holy crap. Definitely have to plan for that. Now we're in the orange zone, which I'm not sure does anything. They're not saying yet. Okay, this is a mine layer, apparently. Ooh.
Unit ready.
There better be a spotting mechanic for it.
Construction complete.
Okay, here they come.
Base is under attack.
See how those turrets can hold.
Offline.
Actually, the turrets seem
Oh,
really
man,
strong.
What a time to overdraw your power. Sorry, Fred.
He did go over the mines, Brandon did. And it looks like it destroyed one tank. The turrets are helping out, but the walls have been punched through. There is a little opening for infantry.
Base is under attack.
And there goes the worker harassment, but this faction has more
Construction complete.
health on the workers, so they'll be fine for now.
Base is under attack.
Looks like the base should be able to hold more or less.
Constructing. Base is under attack. Lost.
What's going on with these RPG troops? They were kind of phasing.
Our harvester is under attack.
Yeah, like their models were getting stretched while moving. Must be unfinished animations or something. Classic CNC style repair.
Is under attack.
You can just do it anytime, anywhere.
Our base is under attack.
Buildings do look killable, so I'm not sure I see the whole thing where rushing isn't a thing. Maybe not with the very first units, but
Our base is under attack.
at the same time, I guess a lot more turrets could have been made. The tanks aren't shooting, notice that, by the way. There is no auto-targeting on them or something, which might be just a missing piece of gameplay that is not yet implemented.
Our base is
But they weren't behaving very intelligently in that sense, so the micromanagement tax might be high. I'm not sure if that's intentional. We'll find out, I guess, when there's a beta or something. That's gonna be a hold, and those missile turrets actually were pretty good with the splash damage.
unit ready. Constructing.
So, are there gonna be air units in this game, I wonder?
Construction complete.
In the Gamescom demo, they didn't show the air units, so be curious if they... Oh, this soundtrack slaps, man. Okay, Grenadiers. Some more splash damage units. Anything that necessitates a bit of micro is good news, I think. What's that tank over there? It's a trebuchet. Doesn't say what it does when you select the unit. I'm not sure that's very easy to understand that way. Then again, it does in the build menu, but when you're playing against something and you don't know the units yet, which would be my case, definitely, as I haven't yet played this game. So you can learn from the build menus there,
Unit
but
ready.
We have our first drone
Not from
mauler hitting
selection.
the field. This is a heavy infantry that is pretty useful. Has 2 drones. It can stealth while immobile, and it packs a heck of a punch.
So you can set up little traps with this boy. Looks like the selection limit is pretty low. Only 12 units can be selected in the UI at the same time. Well, you can select more, but it will only show the cards of 6 units or 12 units. You can see these little down and up arrows, which will help you cycle through the selection. I think the number is a little low. There's a lot of UI space here that could be used.
Not
Oh,
only
hello.
is it a stealth detector, but its weapon builds up Tempest charge on vehicles in its radius. I get a kick out of it every time I see it in action.
Okay, that was cool. I assume that does some damage over time there. Yeah, the visuals look definitely awesome there. Love those Tempest charge effects for sure. I assume these are some reactors, so depowering the base could be a good move. Oh my goodness. The tanks can't move and shoot, can they? So Trebuchet is like an artillery. It kinda is like the Halo Wars 2 Kodiak, but with a greater arc. And another one. Must have a minimum range, no doubt. Yeah, you can see it doesn't shoot back already from there, so it needs to be undeployed, and then it does gain a pretty decent attack still. It's not nothing. Worse than the artillery attack, no doubt, but yeah. Spicy. And I wonder how easy it is to expand. We actually haven't seen anything about that yet. Can you just build anywhere, or what's there to stop you building like walls and turrets on the other side of the map to aid your push, for example? Is that doable? We just don't know yet. Okay, there's the real boys. That's a lot more troops than were being shown. I was wondering what those dots are. I was gonna say that these guys must be holding back for purposes of demonstration. So, I think they're saying stuff like not rushing. That the rush gameplay is not really desirable because of marketing, honestly. I don't think that's actually looking realistic at all. Looks like you can pump out a lot of units in a quick succession. And fights should be escalating rather quickly. If you're out of position, these units can clearly do a lot of damage. Is that the base completely cleaned up? There's like not much else left, is there? That looked like a main base. Yeah, why weren't the units shooting there? Why weren't they shooting by themselves? Like, you saw Fred needed to give an order. I think that goes back to what I said before, that automatic attacks are not yet really functional. But I'm sure it will happen. It's a moment having
Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to more of these sometime in the future.
There's gonna be more of these. Okay, very good. Very good. So Brandon got wrecked. Easy clap. I'll make sure to subscribe to him to help him out for next game.
And that was it. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I won. Thank God for Brandon letting me win with his big army of porcupines there at the end. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you really liked this small little playthrough and got a feeling for what it feels and looks like to play as the GDF faction in Tempest Rising. There's a lot to dive into that we didn't show in this little presentation. A lot of units that we didn't show. We have the whole intel system. We have doctrines. Those elements we'll dive into a bit later. And the game itself is in beta. So if you saw some things that doesn't look quite finished, don't worry. We're working on it. But
yeah,
we
no doubt.
quite like where this is heading. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this presentation. And I can't wait to show more.
Well, all in all, I think we can say very safely that what we've seen here is the building blocks of a AAA class RTS game. So there is still definitely stuff to do, like the unit AI, like the unit visibility, like the unit cards specifically not giving you a whole lot of information. I'm not sure actually that they have all the commands yet that you need in an RTS of this class. For example, patrol commands and stuff like that. I'm not sure I was able to spot. It's a little hard to read while the players are obviously focused on base building and other stuff. I'd like to know whether you can build outside of your base easily enough, or whether it's just a creeping expansion style game where you need to be adjacent to your existing buildings. In fact, why don't we go back and quickly try to check this out? All right, looking at this, that's terrain blocking you.
On Tempest Rising. I'm so excited to be able to...
But then on this side, you could be expanding. So, okay, your buildings will be creeping forward, and your base will grow as you grow in general. You'll be able to make it to expansions with more resources over time, but you'll also probably have to send your workers far for long distance mining at some point once the initial resources run out. So that is interesting. Can't really tell what the differences are between these buttons up left. We didn't get to see much of that. And I wonder if F stands for patrol here. G probably stands for guard. Or maybe that's D, I don't know. A lot to be found out about this anyways. So yeah, I definitely like to see more information about these units, especially when you select a single one so that you can learn what it does, what it's good at, what it's bad at, DPS information, stuff like that. We haven't talked anything at all about upgrades yet. We don't know what those doctrines are. We don't know about air units yet. So there's a lot left to learn. I'm definitely looking forward to learning more. And I hope they'll be posting more of Tempest Rising. But what did you think? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.